Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Young Sheldon. This is the 4th episode of the 2nd season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it's available for free in the link in the description below. Just click it, put a password in, and enjoy. So last episode, Mary was struggling with the faith. You know, you gotta have faith. Yeah, she wasn't having it. You know, a young girl, 16-year-old, died in a car crash. And, you know, when she was thinking about the situations and she was writing a card out to the parents that she was in a better place, she was thinking, hang on, how is she in a better place? You know what I mean? Like, she's here on Earth right now, living life. She's so young, got everything to experience. She's got loving parents there who look after her and take care of her and want the best for her. And I'm struggling. Do you know what I mean? I can't see why God has this in his plans. You know what I mean? And all episode she was back and forth, she was getting drunk, and you know, it took Sheldon coming out and saying actually some really nice things to her. He was basically said his thing was, you know, I know you're struggling with the faith right now and whether God's real or not. However, you know, a fun fact is if gravity was a little bit higher or something, the strength was a little bit higher, then the world would collapse. If it was a little bit lower, the world would float away, dismember. However, it is just bang on right, and you know, it can't have just been that perfect. Somebody must have figured that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then he was basically saying, as well, somebody, how could I end up with the world's best mum? Do you know what I mean? And like, he was basically saying that God's done all of these things and brought him the best person that he could ever have, and the world, well, it don't self-collapse and destruct, it's, you know, fine-tuned and perfect. And his mum was like, look, why are you out of all people trying to convince me that God was real? Do you know what I mean? When obviously he's always an advocate of he's not. And he's basically just saying, look, mate, you know, you believe in him and it makes your life so much better. And, you know, there is some things that do need to be proven, you know what I mean? Theoretical physicists, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here to answer, basically, try and solve all these mysteries, these questions that everybody has. And let's hope, obviously, you know, one day we can maybe get the answers that we need. However, you want to stay in faith with God and you enjoy it, and I just want what's best for you, basically. So I like it. It was good, and it's probably one of the best things I've heard Sheldon really say to his mum, to be honest, whether it was this show or the other one. It was actually really nice. But thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash that, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
Students, the weekend represented 2 days of fun, freedom, and, in the case of my brother, a chance to ignore all forms of hygiene. To me, however, it represented an unwelcome break from education.
Thank the Lord.
Mom, I was going through our expenditures and noticed our grocery bills are up 12% compared to last quarter. Any idea why?
There's a person at the end of the table that eats for free.
There's a person at the other end of the table that eats for $3.
Notice there's a check missing. I have a copy of check 128 and a copy of check 130, but 129 isn't there.
Just put it down for $300 for miscellaneous.
I've never labeled anything miscellaneous in my life. I'll go ask Mom.
Wait. What do you say we keep this quiet? Just trust me. It is better for everyone if she doesn't know about this.
The thing is, right, is all he had to say there is basically $300, yeah, and he used it to actually buy some gifts, birthday and Christmas presents for your mum. You know, I don't want to tell you what it is because obviously it's going to be a surprise when it opens, and I don't want her to know what it is because then again their presents and the surprise will be ruined. You know what I mean? Like, you have to put it in that situation. I'll put it on Sheldon. It was part of your Mrs. Gift. You know, they both have it on the same day. We have to spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, can't tell you what it is because it's supposed to be a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you had to do it. You know, that way he's not keeping a secret, and it's like a need to know basis in. He doesn't need to know what it is because he kind of knows what it's for. He just doesn't know the items, what they are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, however, I think it's pretty mad that the people use checks. You know, I know this is set back in the day. However, it is 2024 and I have been to the US and they do take checks. And I think that it's pretty mad. Like, you can actually go into an outlet and pay with a check. What? Honestly, what's going on there? Like, literally, I feel like that is literally living 30 years ago. I don't understand it. I've never seen one person ever in the UK write a check out. Now, I know they do exist, but I just don't get it. I actually don't get it. And do you know another thing I don't get while on this little bit of a tangent? Is in the UK, you can go into any store, and I literally mean any store. Whether it's Phil, who lives next door, who's opened a corner shop where you just go and get your milk and eggs. Do you know what I mean? To the big, massive, supermarkets like Walmart. You can go in with no bank card or anything, use your watch or your phone and pay for anything. You can go to McDonald's, go to KFC, do you know what I mean? Go to Walmart, go to the pub, do you know what I'm saying? Go to a bar, go to a petrol station, go anywhere. Literally, you could pay on your card on your phone. And when I was in the US, there wasn't a lot of chip and pin. Like, there wasn't contactless. There was some places, but not a lot. And to make things even more crazier, like around the tangent, in the UK, I can send you money like that. If I've got £10,000 in my bank, you can have it in your bank in 5 seconds. If I wanted to give my mum 20, you know what I mean? So if my mum goes out and she buys, I don't know, my groceries for me because I'm not home, she could say, oh, it costs $100, boom, it's in her account in 10 seconds. You know, my sister could go, I don't know, to the shop, buy me a coat. Do you like this coat? You know, it's on sale, $50. Do you want it? Yeah, boom, in account. Not in the US, you've got to use third-party apps, Cash App, do you know what I mean? Zillow, or them, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Zillow's, I think, is a real estate app, but you have to use third-party apps, PayPal. You can't instant bank transfer anywhere. I literally feel like the US should be way ahead. It's massive. It's like 100 times bigger than England. But like, I feel like some of the stuff that they have is literally like 20 years in the past.
Oh, hello. I was just brushing my teeth like I do every night.
Sweet dreams. Love you.
Love you too, 'cause you're my mom.
You're so weird.
Isn't it?
More than usual.
No, I guess not.
Perfect.
So how big a tax refund you think we're gonna get?
Morning.
Morning.
Mayor, we got any batteries?
Look in the drawer by the refrigerator.
What are you doing in there?
Keeping your secret.
You gotta pull it together.
This is me pulling it together.
Pull harder.
Gone several days without a bowel movement.
How do you know that?
Well, I was worried about him, so I took a look in his potty journal.
An eye on him.
Thank you.
You got it. I don't know how much longer Sheldon can hold out.
This is why I did not want you to write a check.
Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't have that kind of cash lying around.
I do not want Mary to find out about this.
Well, what about Sheldon? Why don't we just come clean?
You could rat me out to Mary, and I could tell her what you did at the church picnic.
Grandmas are supposed to be nice. What went wrong with you?
Hello, I'd like to book a room in your hotel. I'd be arriving tonight. Ooh, a queen bed. That sounds fancy. And how much would this room cost? Do you have a children's rate? How would you feel about a sleepover?
Unless you watch TV. Jake and the Fat Man is on tonight.
I meant we could sleep at your house.
But you'll miss Jake and the Fat Man.
Even better. So what do you say?
So your first sleepover? Pretty exciting, huh?
No, it's not exciting. It's constipating, and I'm only doing it to avoid Mom.
Spend some time at Tam's house and clear your head and come back home refreshed. Sometimes the truth can hurt people. We wouldn't want to hurt Mom, right?
Of course not.
Attaboy. When Tam falls asleep, put some shaving cream in his hand and then tickle his nose.
Why?
Because then he'll go to, scratch his nose and get shaving cream on his face.
And then what?
Well, that's
You laugh.
Why I mentioned it.
Also, I didn't bring my own shaving cream. I'd have to use his dad's.
Forget it.
Do you know another good one to do, right? Is, like, if your door opens inwards, not outwards, because it would hit it. But if the door opens inwards, you should go on the outside and put a bit of, we call it cling film in the UK, but is it saran wrap or whatever in the US? And you put a bit of the saran wrap there, like across the door sheet, obviously. Like if someone goes up for a piss or something in the night, or even if it's in the morning when it's a little bit dark, you're going to open the door and you're not going to see it because it's clear. And they walk and obviously just walk into it. I think it's funny. It's a little simple one as well. If you've got a bit of honey or something like that as well, you can kind of like rub it on it so it gets a bit sticky. Oh, it's absolute wounder. Or another thing as well is you could do it in a toilet seat. Lift the toilet seat up, put saran wrap around the bowl or the cling film, and then obviously close it. And then obviously when a guy goes for a wee, he's just going to bounce off it. Like, simple things like that when you stay over at your mate's house. It's hilarious.
His dad, George Cooper.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for letting him spend the night. It's his first sleepover. He's excited.
Actually, I'm quite apprehensive.
He's really looking forward to it. In case something comes up, just give us a holler. I mean a call. If you hollered, we wouldn't hear you.
Interestingly, one of the main ingredients in Vietnamese cooking is an extremely pungent condiment known as fish sauce. Forks are not customary in a Vietnamese household. There was one towel for everyone to share at the table.
That's pretty mad.
Seriously, what are they thinking?
Growing up, it's natural for a young boy to want to spread his wings a little bit, try something new.
That's nonsense. Last week I brought home the raisin bran with the sugar on the raisins. He almost lost his mind. I just feel like something isn't right.
Connie, why don't we just come clean? No. You heard her. Now she's blaming herself. I don't know how much longer we can keep this going.
I'm willing to find out.
So this game is called Mystic Warlords of Ka'a.
It's a secret.
Have you noticed anything off with Sheldon?
Something between me and you. Mom is on a need-to-know basis.
Did you hear anything I said?
Sorry, I was reliving a traumatic experience. You're Catholic, I'll confess it to you.
I'm not a priest.
I'm not a Catholic. It makes perfect sense. Forgive me, Tam, for I have sinned. I was doing my parents' taxes and noticed a check was missing.
It was a relief to finally unburden myself of this deception.
Cool. Can we play now?
And now that my conscience had been cleared, my colon was ready to do the same.
I suppose that is probably the benefit of actually, you know, going to speak and do your confessions, because it is, you know, sometimes you do have stuff in and you just want to let it out, but like, you know, there's a time and a place and stuff like that, and sometimes you don't want to actually hurt anybody, and sitting there and just confessing and just letting it all off is the weight off your shoulders, and you feel so much better about it. I never really thought of it in that situation, you know what I mean? He didn't really sin, to be honest, but it's more about getting weights off your shoulders and feeling free again, and I get it, I actually really do.
Do you think your dad would ever ask you to keep a secret from your mom?
Oh no. He's so honest, it's annoying.
You feed you any weird food? When I was in Nam, we ate fish soup for breakfast. Sheldon, I'm talking to you.
Well, I'm not talking to you. It was irresponsible of you to burden me with that secret. And don't worry, we made a deal. I'll continue to keep your secret.
What's up?
I need to tell you something.
What did you do?
You trust me enough to understand that it was for good reason, and just leave it at that.
What did you do?
Okay, now before I answer that,
Just tell me what you did.
I got a DWI. I was at the dog track with Georgie and I had a few.
Georgie?
With God as my witness, I've never been to the dog track in my life. Me and Meemaw were in the bar at the track.
You took him to a bar?
Too many margaritas, so I drove us home.
But you don't have a license.
That's why we swapped places after the cop pulled us over.
Went gambling and you drove without a license and you lied to my face.
Heroically.
Go.
She's fuming. You can actually tell that she's actually fuming, can't you?
We had a deal. Besides, your marriage is already hanging by a thread.
Good night.
She's definitely going to tell her.
Night. So get a load of this. Last church picnic, your husband snuck in a six-pack.
You got an extra toothbrush?
Under the sink, darling.
Thanks.
You got it. Stumbles over to the church vegetable garden and proceeds to irrigate the whole damn thing.
Yeah, like, Connie does make me laugh, to be honest. She is actually a great addition to the show. Now, you know, it's interesting there because he kind of used the money in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, he was bailing her out, and he was trying to stop his son as well from... I mean, his son, obviously Georgie, should be punished for driving a car, like, without a license, and Meemaw should obviously be, I don't know what you could do with it, shouted at for letting that happen. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of bad guardianship, or whatever you want to call it. However, I wouldn't really see any of that as Georgie's fault. You know, basically, he wanted to keep it in-house quiet, and he just paid it off. Do you know what I mean? So, he actually done a good thing, which I think is really interesting, but I can understand why they wanted to keep it away from Mary. And to be honest, I think Sheldon there actually enjoyed that sleepover. You know, he had the weight off his shoulders, he confessed, you know what I mean? He played Kaha, or whatever it is, Ka'a. I can't remember now what it is, but they play it in the present, the Big Bang Theory. So, Tam introduced him to a few things that he's kind of escalating and gone on, comic books and Kaha. You know what I mean? Like, have we seen him playing D&D yet, or did he introduce him to that as well? So, mate, many things that he's been introduced to is, used consistently throughout his life. Now, again, I enjoyed the episode, and I actually think it's mad in terms of the taxes and the way the Americans work, and you guys do it compared to other countries. But we'll discuss that in a minute. But in the whole aspect of it, it was an entertaining episode, and we've seen again from an early age that Sheldon can't keep hold of a secret. We've seen it in the present, he can't do it, and we can see here it's not something that he established and got later on down the line. It was literally something such a young age, and it's been with him for the rest of his life. So again, that's really interesting, and I do like seeing, obviously, like, things be established, kind of like the games, do you know what I mean? And in certain situations, like, where you can see, oh, this is where it happened, this is where he learns to play this is where, him not being able to lie and all this started, like, established from. And then obviously, because we know where he ends up going, it's good to see the start and knowing where we end up going to be. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, it's interesting. Sheldon's doing his parents' taxes. And, my question is, one, how much is the taxes in the US? So, for example, if you got a $100 paycheck, how much tax do you get on it? 5, 10, 15, 20%, And as well is, talking to you Americans, like, would you rather your taxes be taken out before you receive the paycheck? Because here in the UK, everything already has tax on it. For example, if I go into a store and see something for $100, it is $100. That's what I get out my, wallet. Sorry, that's what I get out my wallet, and I hand to the cashier, and boom, it's the price you see is the price you pay. It's not you see $100 and you go to the till and it's plus tax. Do you know what I mean? We've already had tax established and taken into account here in the UK, as well as our wages. So, for example, if we get paid $1,000 a month, our taxes here is crazy high. So it's 20%. So that means that for every $1,000 that we made, we would receive 800, and we would get the 800 in our bank. We wouldn't receive the 1,000, and then we have to do and file our taxes ourselves for the return. We get that already. I don't know if that's how you guys do it, or if you get the full check and then at the end of the year you do your tax return and you have to pay the government back, or whatever's like that. Do you know what I mean? Or you keep track. I mean, I understand the concept of if you drove around a lot, for example, like he was saying, Mum's using the car to and from the house to the church. She's buying groceries here and there. She spent $1,000 over the year. We should be able to reclaim that back, take it off our expenses, you know what I mean, and get that tax back or whatever it is on it. But it's interesting. Like I said, in the UK, we pay 20% tax. And I don't know, in the US, was it like 5% when I was there? When I was there a couple of months ago, when I was buying food, at the bottom of the bill, I think it said plus tax, and it was only like 5%, which to me, obviously, I was used to paying 20. I think it's actually crazy. And then, again, we pay national insurance, which is 9%. So, again, if we just round everything up, if we got paid 1,000, we would technically not get 800, because that's 20%. We'd actually get 710, because we get 290 taken out, because that is the NI. Do you know what I mean? Where in the US, you don't pay for health insurance, do you? So, like, either you call an ambulance and you have to pay for it, or you go to the hospital, then you got to pay for it. We don't have to do that because it's taken out of our wages. And again, my proposal to you would be, which would you rather do? Would you rather get your $1,000 earned in salary but receive the $710 in the bank, or would you rather just get you $1,000, leave it to yourself, have to pay for your own health insurance and have to pay your own taxes at the end of the year? Because we don't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting. I just think it's total opposite. It's madness. How close and similar we are, but totally different as well at the same time. It actually is interesting. But thanks for checking out today's episode anyway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.